I told her that, she got mad at me.
Hey, Monday, March 26th. Let's go through new talkie stuff so we can help you out. Let's see, those of you playing the home game. Let's see, you get your camp information. Make sure your first and last name is on it. Don't jake up your paper. You get your camp info Wednesday. Unless, of course, you've lost many B points, or in case you are missing stuff for either me, Randall, or Melling, then you don't find out on Wednesday. You wait until Thursday. You also get your camp shirts on Wednesday. Spirit Week this week, I send out reminds. It's also up there. Today was the college day. Tomorrow is the dressing a character from TV, movies, or book day. If you need B points, some of you do, book drive for B points. Every time you turn in the book this week, it's the kids' books. Then it gets you 1 B point per book. And our new B points and grades are posted for those of you who want to see them. It includes all of your mythology tests and things like that. Then, and let's see. What you're going to do, and for those of you at home in a moment, you're going to hit the little pause button right there, and then we'll go through and you'll write your responses here. For each one of these, you're going to tell me why you agree or disagree. You're just going to give me a sentence explaining it. It says, the first one, popular kids are the most important kids to the school. Not most unpopular, or no, most important to you, but do you think they're the ones the school thinks is most important? 2, it's okay for a kid to get beat down if we know they are mean. 3, I would always help my best friend, no matter what they ask me to do. 4, as soon as you fight back, then you are no longer bullied. And 5, kids can't change their social group. Once you're a dork, a jock, etc., you're going to be that forever.
Okay.
Those of you at home, hit pause. We'll come back to you in a moment.
See you later.
Hey, welcome back. Now you get to follow into our conversation. Hopefully you got a chance to pause. If not, that was real awkward for one of us. Here's the book that we're going to be reading starting tomorrow. It's called The Outsiders. A couple things about this book, and then we'll talk about the stuff up there.
Isn't there a movie?
This is the book that every 7th grader reads. Advanced class, regular class, every kid in 7th grade ends up reading this book. Mostly because it's just a really fun book. And for a lot of kids, my mythology unit is the first time that they've ever enjoyed learning in class, and for some reason didn't hate things. And so along those same lines, The Outsiders is for most kids who hate reading, it's their first time to actually enjoy reading a book. And so I accept the fact that many kids hated Shadow Club. I can't fix everything. Outsiders is that book for a lot of kids, is their mythology of novels, is the thing that gets them to switch over. Here's the problem. Because so many kids in 7th grade read this book, other kids are horrible people. This book, a lot of main characters die throughout the book. Throughout the whole thing, people keep dying through it. People are going to want, and by people I mean other students, are going to want to ruin the book for you because they're not good people. They're going to say, so they say, you're reading The Outsiders? Have you gotten to the part where Bobby gets stabbed, the blood, and you're like, what? No, he's still alive. Like, oh, well, he dies soon. And you're going to want to strangle a person. To help you out, here's what you do. As soon as someone begins you're reading The Outsiders, you quickly take your hand, curl it so you have just the front parts right there, jut it out quickly. You want to hit the trachea, it's like a little bony bit right there in the front. They'll start making a sound when you hit the ground. And then you go, no, I've not gotten to that part. Thank you for not explaining it to me. And they'll be like, and that way it makes things much better, and they will have to learn a lesson. If you don't feel you can punch somebody, I understand. Instead, what you want to do is you take your hand, move your thumb down so you have just this little ridgy bone, and it's like a slap, except you turn your hand sideways, aim the little trachea thing right there again, and it dislodges it and prevents them from talking again. They go, have you gotten the part? And they go down again. You're like, no, I haven't. Please don't ruin the book for me. Along those same lines, if I find out one of you people are those horrible children that ruins the book for other people, I will metaphorically throat punch you. Once again, still legally, I can't do it because of witnesses. But I have other ways of torturing you and making you be unhappy. Do not ruin the book for other people. All of these things pop up in the book to give you a quick rundown of the general idea of what happens at the beginning. It's set where you have these two groups of kids, these really popular kids who are in all the sports and all like the social clubs and things like that, and these really poor kids. The really popular rich kids come up with this new game where they go around beating up the poor kids, and you sort of compare how many kids you beat up to each other. And they sort of drive around the town, jumping out of their cars, surprising them, and just beating them down.
Homeless man.
The poor kids, for some reason, don't think this is as much fun and get all, why are you beating us up? And so they sort of fight back, and it's all fun and games until a kid gets killed. Mr. Brovicast, that's a spoiler. Nope, that's at the very beginning of the book. We get right into the whole beating each other up, and a kid goes and kills another kid. You're like, wow, we kill kids right here in the start? Yes, we do. And that's just the first kid down, and it keeps going from there. So all of these things are going to be popping up in the books. That's sort of what I wanted to go through and talk to you about. Kevin!
Isn't there a movie?
There is, and there's a really good movie about it. But, like with every book that gets turned into a movie, the movie leaves out big sections of it and things like that. But as far as book to movies go, it's a pretty good one. I would highly recommend that you watch the movie after you get done reading it. Can't we just watch the movie instead of reading it? Yeah. Well, you can rob a bank and stab a baby too. There's a number of things you can do that you know are wrong and choose to do anyway, so my answer would be, no, you shouldn't do that. If this is that book that's going to help you enjoy reading, read the book. But I'm a horrible person that makes poor choices. Then I can't stop you, can I? That's what horrible people do. I don't want to be a horrible person. Then don't make horrible person choices. But yeah, I highly recommend the book. I mean, the movie. Although it was made, like, when I was a kid, like, literally, like a kid. Like, I think dinosaurs were still doing the filming. But it's still a pretty good movie. Miles!
I was going to answer the first question.
The first one. So, real quick on this one, if we get to Miles. Popular kids are the most important kids to the school. Once again, my question, not to you, but do you think that's what the school thinks? Miles?
I don't think the school feels like this because, not in my opinion, but I feel like as teachers, like, you think every person in the class needs to be successful so the school can look good. Because if you only focus about the popular kids, then some other kids may get their grades dropped or whatever, and that may make the school look better.
I can dig that. So you think the school sees everyone that way?
Everybody's the same.
All right. Cameron?
I think I've seen this movie.
Yeah, I've seen this movie.
It's a good movie.
Oh, okay, Grant. I didn't know this was a movie.
So then, one of the reasons I brought this one up is that that's one of the complaints that the poor kids have, is that it seems like the actions of the popular kids are almost condoned by the school because the school does very little to stop it. Because these kids doing it are the ones who are in like all the big popular clubs and are on the sports teams. And even though the school seems to be aware of it, they don't do anything to stop it. Because that becomes the idea of, is that something that you think the school would condone or not stop if it was who they thought the best kids were? Alright, number 2. It's okay for a kid to get beat down if we know they are mean. And once again, not a big spoiler, one of the popular kids who does a whole lot of bad things gets beat down something fierce. And it's one of those, is it okay to have that person get beat down if we've seen them do bad things? Jacob?
If they have done something to you personally, I think you should knock all their teeth out. But if they're just like not doing anything to you and they're doing it to someone else, they need to stick up for themselves. So
you just
I think yes, it's okay if they do something to you.
So it's okay for mean people to get beat down.
Yeah.
If they don't
Alright.
I would know.
Kevin? No.
I'm with Jacob there.
Miles?
I don't think this is okay, and I'll tell you
Why?
some, like, mean kids, like, they have problems at home, you know what I mean? So they could be getting beat up at home and stuff, and, like, you beating them up is not, like, good. And I don't think, like, you should beat them up. Like, if you're getting bullied, I feel like you should stand up for yourself, but you shouldn't go, like, beat them up, like, out of the blue. Because they did something to you last week, I feel like you should talk to them, see like why they're doing this, because you know it could be bigger than like them just hitting you. So.
I'm gonna go with 2 things. 1, incredibly mature of you. 2, do you think that actually works in the real world?
No.
I feel like it could work if you like sat down with like their parents and your parents and like a counselor and like the principal and you sat down and you talked about like the issue.
And that's part of the issue. What you're requesting is it requires people to actually care about other people.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think almost every time, what you're going to get into the book is you find out they do a little diving in the background of some of these rich kids, that you find out a lot of these rich kids are really unhappy in their home lives, which is why they're doing it. But the idea that they don't do these things if you're a happy person. But that requires you to actually spend time to get to know somebody, and that's a lot of work, and most people are just lazy, and it's so much easier just to hate people and like trying to spend time and stuff like that, but interesting. 3, I would always help my best friend no matter what they asked me to do. Kevin?
No, because I'm not gonna like help somebody deal drugs if that's what my best friends do. Like,
Where you draw the line?
Hope that
I'm not gonna like do anything like too bad. Like,
Just kind of bad.
Yeah.
yeah, like I'll do something like
Perry.
yeah, I'll do something like bad, like not like bad, but like I'll do something like
Who's your
naughty.
best friend that's selling drugs?
Mackenzie?
I would always help my best friend, but if something, if they want to do something that may like hurt them or hurt me, then I would just like encourage them not to do it. And if they want to do it, go for it. But I'm not doing it.
So you're not going to run away from them, but you're not going to help them.
Yeah.
All right. Good answer. Grant?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Kevin. Like, I'll do like kind of bad stuff, but like nothing that really bad.
Okay, pick one side. Yes,
I'm not gonna stab
It's not like in the
somebody.
middle. Like, okay,
Hold still.
Do you have
Like-
your notebook for class? What have you? That's the bell work that we're doing. We're just going through and explaining why we agree or disagree with each one. Miles.
Okay, so like it depends for me. It depends on like my best friend, right? If it's somebody like really close, like I don't think I could see myself like beating somebody up because they like did something to them. I can help them like cheat on a test or something, or like do their con or something. But I don't know if I could like go out and like hurt somebody because they did something.
Well, let me give you an example from the book of what it is, the decision that the character has to make. It is one of the poor kids, and he finally gets fed up getting beat up nonstop, and so he decides to get revenge and goes out and murders one of the rich kids who's been beating up everybody. Like the one who's like in the lead, beating up all the other poor kids. He decides to go out and murder that person. The problem is afterwards, he needs to get away. So he goes to his best friend for help in order to get away. The decision the best friend has to make is, if you help this person get away, afterwards, you're in just as much trouble. As far as the law is concerned, if you help someone get away with a crime after the fact, you become an accomplice. You get just as much trouble as they would, which means you could get the death penalty for it. So that becomes the problem this kid has to face.
That means they just kill
Do you help your best friend? You did not do it, but they did it. And here's the double issue of it. Once your friend admits to you that they did it, you have to make your decision at that point. You being aware of it means you either have to turn them in, or you're going to have to help hide them. You no longer sort of get to sit in the middle. And so that becomes the decision he has to make. Do I immediately turn in my best friend to the police, or do I help him hide? So that, and it is not just a friend, it is that your BFF, best friend forever and ever and ever that you've known, that you would have done anything for, it is that kid.
Sorry, bro. I didn't murder him.
So then, now,
That's
to
on
go
you,
along
bro.
with it,
That's on you.
your friend, this rich kid, one of the people he beat up and got the most points for was you. You are the one that this kid has done the most bad things to. So basically, he did this for a person that was the meanest to you. Knowing that this other kid, the rich kid, the one that's been tormenting you nonstop, has been beating you up nonstop, your best friend just killed, and now comes to you to ask for help to hide, let's go from that point. How many of you would say, yes, I would help my friend in that case, knowing that I would then get in trouble at the same time?
Kevin or Ryder got
Have fun in jail.
Then
like, for
how would you say,
like everything.
nope, I'm going to say, now nope means you are now turning them in. So I'm going to say, nope, I'm going to turn my friend in.
I mean, I'm
Because
not gonna turn them in. I might just.
Why would you turn them in? Like,
I'm just gonna let them.
No.
yeah, that's so weird if you're gonna turn them in.
What snitching?
If you don't help them,
No, you
that's
can't
your other
say
option.
cannot.
Because if you don't turn them in, as soon as they get caught, you get in just as much trouble.
Wait, if you don't turn them in,
He's gonna be
If you
dead.
don't turn them in, you might as well help them get away, because you get in just as much trouble.
I didn't know that.
God, that's why you have to pick your friends wisely.
Tomorrow, we start reading about how to beat up these kids and what happens from there.